What is the scariest short story you've ever read? There's something wrong with boy number one. I didn't remember anything before the white room, just the sterile smell of bleach and the gentle hum of a fan. The room was stark white, clinical, with 4 TV screens documenting an experiment. Stranded teenagers in a remote forest after a plane crash. I'd known them since they boarded. My job was to make their lives hell. 2 buttons sat before me, one red, one green. These kids were strangers on a screen. Strangers I would never have to apologize to. I could shape their lives, their relationships, their survival. I could have pressed green the day of the crash, rescuing them. That was my plan. The moment I saw their terrified faces, their screams, I knew I had to. My first choice, burn their supplies or let them find a working phone. I pressed red by mistake. Their supplies caught fire, food and water going up in smoke, and I found myself enjoying their despair, like my own personal TV show. Boy 4 tried to find help. I took his compass, choosing for him to drop it in quicksand. Choice after choice, I ignored the good ones for him to find clean water, food, medicine, until he died from a snake bite. Girl 5 fell off a cliff. Boy 3 froze to death on watch. I watched as they hunted animals, then each other, when winter fell, and I continuously destroyed their food supply. Their fish and meat, fruit, berries, and nuts. I wanted them to find another source of food, and half a year in, I had finally driven them to the unthinkable. They were delirious from hunger. I sipped coffee, watching 5 teenagers huddle around a sputtering fire. Half an emaciated skeleton lay before them. Boy 4. My choice had led them to choose him over dirt. I watched gleeful as Boy 1 slipped a knife into dead flesh, stripped a slimy gray strip from an exposed rib, and hesitantly put it in his mouth. He chewed, swallowed, then smiled. "It's good," he rasped, lips splitting into a grin, bloody teeth on display. His eyes glittered with starvation, madness, blood smeared across his cheeks. He giggled, tore more flesh, and gestured to the others. They followed, hesitant at first, then ravenous. I laughed. This was what I wanted. Staring into Boy 1's wide, unblinking eyes, I saw the complete destruction of self, humanity, and it was beautiful. Boy 1 had this sweet little smile, blood dribbling down his chin, just like he had smiled as a child. His 5th birthday through a mouthful of frosting. "Look, Mommy, I got a Spider-Man cake." Something slimy slithered up my throat, and I slipped off of the chair straight onto my knees. "Zach!" I screamed, but no sound came out, my memories unraveling. Zach. Oh God, my baby. How did I forget I had a son? Zach. I choked his name, clawing at the screen, at my baby mindlessly staring into the camera, chewing. His eyes were hollow, vacant. Zach.